guys, welcome to another video. Bit of a breaking news video this. I want to talk about something that one of you, Alexandra, you actually DM'd me on Instagram a couple of days ago, and we were in conversation about all of these British brands that are literally filing for bankruptcy right now. Some, it's already happened and they have been purchased by foreign businesses, investors, and it's just like a crazy situation. And I'm talking about, let me tell you what I'm talking about. I did write it down. I've got Radley, McLaren, Harvey Nichols is a big one that's happened this week. What is going on there? LK Bennett, just so many of these big British brands are losing it. And we're going to talk about what's going on with each of them and why this could possibly be. And also I thought, you know, I always like to add something more personal with you guys. And also I thought maybe what I would do is talk to you about my own business because I am feeling it myself. So I do social media for fun. I have got a day job and I call myself semi-retired. I'll come onto it in a second, but things are not going to plan for me right now in a way that's actually quite scary and anxiety inducing. So I'm going to talk to you about that as well, because this definitely feels like a UK problem. Okay, let's, what should we start with? Let's start with Radley. Radley apparently were on the rocks back in May 2026. And I feel like this, I don't know about for you, but I feel like this was kept on the low. I didn't hear about it. I didn't know. Radley are the cute little bags that have got the Scotty dog on them. They've been going years and they're very quintessential British, you know. And I was really surprised when Alexandra said to me, they've actually gone bust and then they got bought up by a US investment company. And I was just like, what? And then I was Googling it, going down a rabbit hole. And what I discovered is that they went into administration in May 26. Then immediately after, they were bought up by a US investment firm. British handbag and accessories brand Radley London went into administration in late May 2026. It was immediately acquired by US investment firm Gordon Brothers in a distressed intellectual property deal. The collapse resulted in immediate job cuts, and its remaining retail stores and concessions were slated to wind down operations. One supplier who has worked with Radley for several years is understood to be owed a six-figure sum in repayment for stock, while a second supplier told Drapers his business is owed tens of thousands of pounds. The other company this happened to, back, I think it was last year now, LK Bennett, another very British, worn by Kate Middleton brand, known for ready-to-wear like clothing, shoes, accessories, etc. LK Bennett was never something I was into. I think I kind of was growing into it last year and then they went bust. So I think they're still online now. I think they still have an online presence, but they don't have any of their stores anymore. And they were also apparently bought up by the same US investment company that bought Radley. So there we have two British brands that you could argue are no longer British. Now, I don't know whether it will be a case of that this US investment brand will say, okay, let's keep the manufacturing and the design going in Britain so that we keep that British element, or whether that will be moved to the US or elsewhere. I don't know. I couldn't find this information. It's a bit like, you know, Rolls-Royce now owned by BMW, Mini owned by BMW, but they kept certain elements of those products being made in the UK to kind of keep that UK British element, even though they're owned by a German company. Now, my question about LK Bennett, and I would love to get your thoughts on this. Millen, another brand that quite a while ago now hit the rocks and was bought up by Boohoo. Now, Boohoo, not a company that I'm a fan of. I don't mind, like Zara is as far as I would go when it comes to like fast fashion. Shein, difficult because they do have those pictures, like whenever you look up something, Shein always comes up in Google search, and they do have really nice stuff, but rarely does it actually look like that, and I never buy from there. Zara is probably as far as I go when it comes to fast fashion. Boohoo, no. I've bought from there many years ago and I didn't feel the quality was good, and here is where I want to get your thoughts. Karen Millen. I have got Karen Millen from back in the day, before they went bust. And those pieces from Karen Millen, I'm talking wool coats, silk dresses, you know, quality pieces that still look great today. And not only do they look great, but they are in fabulous condition. They have not dated, they have not worn out, they look great. I have purchased, maybe I shouldn't say, I have purchased from Karen Millen in recent years since the Boohoo takeover, and I am not impressed. And a lot of the stuff I've bought, I've ended up returning because I open it up and I'm like, this is a Karen Millen design in Boohoo quality. And I wonder whether this is going to happen with LK Bennett, because, you know, LK Bennett, I've got some of their pieces in my wardrobe. LK Bennett quality and the materials they used were always really very good. And I wonder whether they will keep the LK Bennett name, branding and silhouette of the pieces that they design, but whether quality will suffer, but prices will stay the same. You know, LK Bennett, you're looking at like about 200, 250, 300 pounds for a little jacket. That's what I've always paid anyway, that sort of kind of money. And I wonder whether prices will stay the same, but the quality will drop. So we will see. We will see. I'll keep you updated on that. Okay, the next one, a big British company, McLaren. I didn't know about this. This has gone under the radar. David said to me yesterday, he was like, oh my God, come and watch this video. We're on YouTube watching this video and they're talking about McLaren. And McLaren have got a really big HQ in the UK. And apparently they nearly lost it. And it's all to do with their, not racing, it's all to do with their car to customer division. So they haven't been making, I think the last car they were working on was the Artura, and I don't really see that doing very well. I did get to drive one and it's like a hybrid and the drive was lovely, but you didn't really see them out. And particularly around London, you know, places that you'd normally see that kind of car. I wasn't really seeing it, to be honest. 720S, you know, that kind of thing, yes, but the newer ones, no. And the Artura was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like, and that was a couple of years ago. It's the last one they really produced and put out there. And then they've been really quiet when it comes to the customer car market for a long time. Well, apparently they have been bought by a UAE-based investment firm called CYVN Holdings. But anyway, it's resurrected, it's saved them their HQ. And word on the street is that this investment company have said, McLaren, you have to broaden your horizons when it comes to the cars you're making. We're talking they could come out with SUVs, etc., not just their sort of like two-seater exotic cars. So we'll see where that goes. Very interesting. But now you could say no longer British, owned by a United Arab Emirates holdings investment firm company. Right, let's talk about this last one before I tell you about what's going on with me. This one grabbed my attention. Harvey Nichols. Harvey Nichols. Couple of blocks down from Harrods in Knightsbridge in London. Okay, it's been there generations. I don't really go in Harvey Nichols. The last time I went in there, I will confess, I felt it was rather run down. It needed a really good paint in there. It felt the products were great product selection, but when I looked beyond that, it didn't look like a store that had been particularly well taken care of on the inside. Let me know if you agree. I remember the escalators always felt a bit grubby, not like Harrods, where it's very opulent and very clean and very, you know, airy and big. So I did like Harvey Nichols, but I used to go to Harrods because that's where I could get everything under one roof. A new company's house filing for the group, which operates the main London flagship in Knightsbridge, as well as the head office for the wider holding company,
Broadgrain Group, for the 52 weeks leading to the 29th of March 2025, it's been revealed that the turnover at Harvey Nichols plunged to 11.1% year-on-year to 69.46 million. Harvey Nichols' operating loss widened to 178 million from 14.4 million, whilst it also posted a loss before tax of 177.4 million, ballooning from 13 million in the previous year.
Harvey Nichols have said, and this is the crux of it, you guys. Harvey Nichols have said they think the reason for it is this cost of living crisis in the UK.
Harvey Nichols said trade was hit by weak consumer demand as a result of the lingering cost of living crisis, whilst also flagging the ongoing impact of the loss of tax-free shopping in the UK. Harvey Nichols has warned it could collapse and cease trading within 12 months if it fails to secure a buyer or significant cash injection. The luxury retailer currently has 1,200 jobs at risk. Now, guys, just to let you know, the Fraser Group that owns flannels, etc., is potentially interested in buying. So that is what Harvey Nichols are hanging on to, is that the Fraser Group purchased them.
People not having as much money as they used to. Now, tax in the UK is gone up crazy. And I think it's probably going to go up some more in the autumn budget. So there's tax rises, energy costs, like energy. I've seen so many things talking about energy costs in the UK being up there with the highest in the world. Growth in general, when it comes to businesses, is down. I literally know, I can tell you of about 7 companies, small businesses who weren't really that small and employed people in the UK who have had to shut down in the UK and move overseas to various countries because moving has been cheaper than staying. And so you've got people that have lost their jobs there. One guy I know, he actually paid to relocate all of his staff. And I was talking to him and I was like, oh my word, like that must be so expensive. And he said, Sophie, relocating my team was cheaper than staying in the UK long term. Well, I do believe, as a business owner myself, with my day job, I do believe that the state of the economy is having a terrible knock-on effect to business and to luxury in general. You know, normally, I speak about this, normally luxury is its own little bubble and it doesn't really get affected. But also Harvey Nichols was saying, do you remember when they removed duty-free, you could claim your tax back if you lived overseas and you shopped in the UK. That was removed a long time ago. And that has really had a knock-on effect as well, because when you get tourism and tourists that want to go do a bit of shopping somewhere, where are you going to go? You know, you're going to go Europe where you can claim your tax back, or are you going to come to UK and not be able to do that? I don't know. I can't tell you a percentage of how many tourists pick places to go shopping, but there will be an element of it. Or tourists that come, I know some of you guys who live in the States will tell me that when you come to Europe, you almost do a tour. You might do like Italy, France, the UK, and you tend to spend your money in Italy and France, let's say, as opposed to the UK when it comes to your big ticket price items like luxury designer goods. And definitely this will be playing a role. Sorry, it is like 30 something degrees today and I've just been outside. I've come inside, I'm like nice and warm. I'm editing, and I said to you I was going to tell you what's going on with work. Well, I thought the better of it, and I think probably the best place to talk about it is Patreon, because it's a closed channel. So I in the video you've been watching, I did actually blow the whole lid on all of it, but I think you never know who's watching, so I'm going to put it on Patreon instead. I'll film that video straight after this actually, and then put that on Patreon. And if you want to go and check it out, I'll link to the channel below. But yeah, sorry to be annoying. Basically, business isn't great for a reason that I will talk about on Patreon. Quite a big reason actually, linked to the economy. So stay tuned for that. And I know so many people who are really struggling in the industry, who have got the same thing. And one of my, no, I won't say. I'll say it on Patreon. I'll talk about it on Patreon in greater detail. But honestly, you guys, I just think as a whole, so many sectors are suffering right now. But luxury is one of the most interesting because you think it's protected, but it's showing its age. It's showing signs that it's not protected, and people are spending less. And, you know, maybe tourists aren't spending as much over here as they once did because they can't claim back the tax. So many things of great interest. But anyway, I would love to get your thoughts in the comments below. Has this affected you in your daily life? You know, even cost of food. You go down the supermarket now. I went to the supermarket yesterday. I spent £65 thereabouts. I had enough food for one evening. Well, one evening and lunch the next day. And I didn't buy anything extravagant. The one thing extravagant I did buy was a floor mop, which probably put the price up quite a lot. But it was just a floor mop. It wasn't a fancy one. It wasn't like all singing, all dancing. It was just a floor mop, but it's so expensive. How am I feeling about luxury? I've said to you for a long time, I can't be bothered with it, and I'm not down for paying the stupid prices. I'm not down for it. You know, I'm in a lucky situation, but I'm not stupid with my money. And I used to be, but I'm in a fortunate situation. I could go and do it if I want to, but I don't want to anymore. There are other things in my life, like I am at the garden centre now more than I ever was at Harrods. If you saw how often I'm going to the garden centre like twice a week, and my focus now is on my garden, is on my home, like in a way that it never really was before. You know, we moved house back in May. We've moved out into the countryside. We're in a bigger place, and my focus has changed. And also, I was working daily in our old place, and I was so stressed that my focus wasn't on the house anymore. I couldn't be bothered with it. But now that I've got more free time, that's what I'm looking into. But anyway, as I say, leave your comments below. Love to hear what you've got to say. And I will see you in the next video.